Hey, what's going on, Wes?
Chilling, bro. What's up with you?
Just chilling. Yeah. Had a question. Um, Realized that a lot of people know a lot about me and AJ and Miles and you. People are getting to know the Without Parole crew, as I like to
Mm-hmm.
call us, or the Parole board, as they like to call us. Um, but I need some dirt on the Virtual Strangers crew. What do I need to know about Eric? What do I need to know about Ruuts? Like, who are they really?
Yeah, it's funny. I could tell you maybe a little bit about Eric, which is a strange thing because only he's been around for like maybe a year and a half.
Uh-huh.
Um, Still can't tell you much about Roots, man. Roots is he shows up on show days, puts it all together, and then goes about his business, bro. So I don't know.
So Ruuts has been around forever and we know nothing about him.
Yeah, he's a mystery man. Let's go to change though this year. He's supposed to join us in Vegas in January, so we're gonna hang out with Roots and find out what he's really all about.
All right. Well, that'll be interesting, man. Can't wait to find out more. But these guys have been waiting, or these cats have been waiting very patiently, so I think we should get the show rolling. You ready?
Ready as I'm gonna be, bro.
Yeah, Sam. This is PSVR GAMESCAST Live, where we film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and 2 Wise Friday, right here on Without Parole. We do it live for your viewing pleasure, right here, YouTube. That's a thing. 6 p.m. Eastern, every single time. We also get timestamps into this after the fact, thanks to our good friend Sci-Fi Game Cat Henry. And this goes up on podcast services of your choice if you're the kind of person who likes to be productive with your day and listen to this while you're doing something else. I recommend masturbating. My name is Brian Powell from this channel right here, PSVR Without Parole, and this gentleman over here to my left, you're right, it's Wes Dillon from Virtual Strangers. What's up, Wes?
Masturbation, apparently. No, it's one of those days. I feel like it's going to be one of those days, Brian. But no, we're here. We're good. I'm feeling a little under the weather, as you know. I've been sick for a couple days, but typically when I get in front of this camera and in front of this microphone, I tend to start feeling better, and I'm counting on the cats to bring me around the day. It never fails, so I'm sure it's going to be the case again today.
You know what else never fails? Coffee. Coffee never fails.
I should try that. I don't drink a lot of coffee, man. I used to pound Red Bulls, but my heart doctor keeps telling me I have problems, so I quit doing that. And
if you're not supposed to drink Red Bull, then you should definitely not drink coffee. I don't think he was telling you not to drink Red Bull because of the sugar content.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, what's in Red Bull? Red Bull is sugar, caffeine, and B vitamins, and they're telling me I need more B vitamins. So what does that leave?
Sugar. I don't know.
And caffeine.
Yeah. Apologies. I saw some people comment on your microphone, Wes. We were trying to figure it out before the show. We have no idea what's going on. It's not too bad, and we didn't want to delay the show for another 30 minutes to figure it out. But it'll be fine.
The weird thing is I can't hear it when I run the audio test.
Yeah.
In Discord, and it plays it in my headphones. It sounds fine. So I really don't know what the problem is with it. It could be a Discord thing, maybe a Discord thing. I don't know.
Maybe it's a Discord thing. Yeah, I was gonna say it can't be an OBS thing because I wouldn't hear that. But we will figure it out, and hopefully this means the next episode of Virtual Strangers will sound even better. There you go.
Yeah, hopefully maybe I just need to get a new mic.
That's all we're doing over here, man. We're just making sure that things run smoother for your real channel.
Yeah, the test run, right?
Yeah, we're the beta. So Wes, I got to tell this little story here before we get started. As a lot of you guys know out there, I haven't had a kitchen for a year due to a mold problem. They came in, they tore out like most of my kitchen, and then I couldn't afford to get a new kitchen. And then I got a little bit of help on that, and then and then it was like impossible to find somebody to do it. And now, everything's kind of falling into place. And I've got a dude who's coming in and like taking care of everything and getting my kitchen back up to a usable place. But when he was tearing down the remaining cabinets, the ones that were up here today, do you want to see what they found?
Sure. I like a surprise.
All right, I gotta make sure I cover up some parts of this here. This is a porno from the 70s called Burning Passion #2, which and it's super graphic. And they were like, "Is this yours?" And I was like, "No." But the funny thing is, I've lived here for 15 years, and that means the whole time I've been here, it's just been just up there on top of the cabinets, just out of sight. Like there's like this tiny little lip where you would never expect there to be anything, except maybe bugs, And so when they brought it down, like they were laughing hysterically, and the even funnier part is the woman that lived here before me, like this little old lady, and so either she was way kinkier than most people thought, or like most it was here.
By the way,
yeah, I think that's probably true. But it also could have been here the entire time she lived here and didn't know it either. So there's just been like this little secret hiding in my kitchen for like decades.
That's incredible.
Decades. This is a magazine from the 70s. It's insane.
You should put it on eBay. There might be a whole following out there of vintage pornography collectors that have been looking for just that one. They have #1 and #3, but they can't find #2 anywhere. And you've hit the gold mine, brother.
Amazing. So unfortunately, this whole kitchen situation means that I guess there was a fortunate part of the whole kitchen situation, which I just explained to you. But the unfortunate part is that it's really fucked up my entire schedule. It seemed like most people got Journey to Foundation keys yesterday. I didn't get mine until 24 hours later. I didn't get mine until today. And that was 4 minutes before the construction guys showed up. And then they were here all day, which means I'm not really going to have a chance to play Journey to Foundation, have a review ready for tomorrow, which I'm really sad about because like that's something I am always diligent about. So I can only work with what I'm given, and they didn't give me anything to work with. So 24 hours is not enough to review a game, even if it was like a 2-hour game. And the developers are saying this is 8 hours. So be patient with me. If you're waiting for the Without Parole review, I promise you I will have it done as soon as I can. But the next few weeks while they take care of the kitchen issues are gonna be really, really difficult here Without Parole. So I'm just gonna try to take it day by day and do what I can each day. Steve IRE asked if any of the pages are stuck together. I've not so much stuck together, but it feels like there's some water damage going on. It's like some of the pages were like, so you form your own conclusions as far as that's concerned. I don't know, Wes. I don't know.
I love it, man. That would have made my week.
Yeah, it definitely made my morning. I don't know if it's gonna last the whole week. But hey, we got some tips. Let's take care of these before we move on here. Let's backtrack here to the top. Lost My Mojo, the Game Cat Reaper with a $20 tip sends pizza fund money. Thank you so much. Lost My Mojo, the Game Cat Reaper. We appreciate you. Alwyn sends €1 with some sunglasses. Thank you very much. Danarama Pajama used a level 3 membership to say add public message. I think you were supposed to type something there, Dan. It didn't work out. Or you could just type what Miles did with his level 2 membership. He says, I'm getting old. Now, was that happening while you were waiting for the show to start? Was that our fault? Or are you just getting old in general? Berbercat with a level 1 membership says, I might have a coin or Veruca.
Wow. Some great comments that people were spending their money on today, man.
Certainly conversation starters, because I have no idea even what to say about these. Trash Kid Game Cat VFR with the 2 quid says, trophies for Ghostbusters look easy, but grindy as fuck. Oh, I didn't check out the trophies for Ghostbusters. That's maybe something.
It's still coming online tonight, right? That's the thing. It's
No.
Today-ish?
No. Okay, so the store listing, so this means I owe AJ a pizza for anyone keeping up with Gamescast. I wasn't confident when I took this bet or when I made this bet, but I just thought it would be fun to lose yet something else to the PlayStation Store. Stupidity. It was supposed to go live tonight at 8 p.m. according to the PlayStation Store. Now, according to the PlayStation Store and the pre-download, I believe it's 1 p.m. tomorrow Eastern.
That makes more sense. That sounds like a PlayStation launch date / time.
Yeah. Maybe we should look up the Ghostbusters trophies and see what they're all about. Man Bear Pig Game Cat with the $2 tip says, I'm a South Park game in VR would be awesome. I don't think he meant to write I'm. A South Park game in VR would be awesome. Let's just get a port of the original N64 one. Remember like the one where you were just throwing snowballs? I think you were playing as Stan. Maybe. I forget who you were playing as.
Yeah, I forget. I vaguely remember the Stick of Truth, I think it was. Yeah. Like just a little bit.
Yeah, Stick of Truth and The Fractured Butthole, which is hard to say without cracking a little smile, were the only two good South Park games I think that ever came out. Everything else was sort of trash. Time to Play VR with the 2 quid says, how much for the magazine posted to UK? Are we on the wrong show today, Wes? Did we hijack somebody else's live stream? What are these questions? What magazine? Oh, sorry.
The one you found. The one you found.
Sorry, I was so already off topic that that was 3 topics behind for me. My brain is not going to retain information like that today. I think you just bought it with the 2 quid. Time to play. Andrew, that's fucking weird. I mean, I don't want to keep it. I'll say that. Andrew Ehrenreich with the $5. Maybe I'll keep it. It says, petition to bring Radiohead's Kid Amnesia PS5 exhibition to VR. IDK, how petitions work. So petition to make a petition for Radiohead in VR. The fact that wasn't VR was shocking to me. I remember that when that was announced on the PlayStation Store. I never actually checked it out. Did you, Wes?
No. I was hoping, like you, that it would be VR. And like most things that aren't VR, I lost interest when it wasn't.
Yeah, absolutely. But I was a huge Radiohead fan for the first 4 or 5 albums, and then I fell off completely just because I did that with a lot of bands. And I've been meaning to get back in because I hear In Rainbows is great, and Hail to the Thief, I believe. And I don't know anything off of those albums at all. So
yeah, me either.
But Kid A was life-changing for me in college because I smoked a lot of pot and did a lot of drugs. And I was like, man, this is life-changing. I don't think it changed my life, but I sure said it a lot. Izzard with the 2 quid says, all right, you're handling the tips from now on, Wes. This isn't working for me.
No, it's fine. No, I appreciate the fact that people want to donate. Obviously, they don't have much to say. They just want to give, and I'm okay with that. That's fine.
And
Thank
they
you
all
so much.
want porn. They all want porn. That's what they all want. That's what they're here for. The conversation has been officially derailed for the day, Wes. We're never getting it back. I apologize. I should have ended the show with that instead of started the show with that. I know our audience too well. This is my fault.
Yeah, agreed.
Mark Pringlesleaf with the 5 quid says, I found a skeleton in our cupboard. It had a medallion around its neck. It said, World Hide and Seek Champion 1972. That's really good. I was laughing the entire time, and and I didn't even know how it was going to end. That's really
beautiful. Good. Must have been training for 1973.
Must have been. That's a good point. That's a very good point. I don't even know. Okay. Guys, listen, first of all, make sure you go subscribe to Wes's channel over there. Him and his friends talk about everything VR, not just PSVR2. Obviously, more than we talk about VR over here because, Jesus, we haven't even said anything about VR yet today. So go check out Virtual Strangers. The link for that is in the description below. Go subscribe. Go check out their epic live streams. Man, if you need something to pass the time, boy, do they have the videos for you because those will pass the time. Also, while you're at it, click the link in the description below and come join our Discord. This is where everybody seems to hang out 24/7. This is where multiplayer games go down. This is where a lot of shit happens, and this is generally where I hang out all day while I work. Not that that's, a great reason to stop by. But, if you're not doing anything, I'm not doing anything, we can shoot the shit a little bit. Shoot the shit. I just realized what a dumb expression that was. Miles Dyer with the 2 quid says, I made a fish. All right. Is it me? Is it me or is it them? I think it's got to be them. I usually think it's me, but I think it's them.
No, it's definitely them.
Okay. All right. Hey, while you're over on our Discord, make sure you leave some viewer takeover questions. Wes, we got a couple good ones today. You just leave your questions there, and this is a great way to get your questions asked, read, answered on the show without spending a fucking penny. Cheapos. This is one of these I feel like we've got a good answer to, and I'm really curious if you've got a good answer to the other, because I don't. But Mobile Warfare asked, #viewer takeover, what's your opinion on the chances of Resident Evil 7 being ported to PSVR2? Would love to play the game again on PS5, but don't want to if there's a good chance it gets ported to PSVR2. Wes, what are the chances we're getting Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, the greatest PSVR1 game ever made, over here on PSVR2?
Well, it depends on, like, if you're asking me, do I think it could come soon? I find that to be less likely. I think the chances are pretty good that eventually it will show up. It's kind of a no-brainer, and I'm expecting most of the great PSVR1 games to eventually be PSVR2 games. So, Capcom, if anyone has been, carrying the banner for PSVR2 this generation, it has been Capcom with their support. By the time this time next year, a good percentage of the big AAA games that we already know of today, I guess I should say, will have been Resident Evil games. So, I certainly would say that it's more likely than not. Now, is it something I would wait for to play it again? I don't know about that. If you're only gaming on console, you might want to just go ahead and do it. If you're not, like if you have PC, you can play it in VR with the mod on PC, and it looks great. It gives you the same kind of visual upgrade that you would expect from a PS5 VR version. So I wouldn't wait. I wouldn't hold my breath unless you just you've got plenty of other stuff to play. We do have 4 coming soon. So, you might want to just run 7 or run 8 again, and then when 4 comes out, you'll be good. I'd say it's pretty likely eventually, but I don't know how soon that'll be.
Yeah, obviously I agree with everything you said because it all makes sense. I think the bigger issue here at hand isn't like, does Sony want it to happen or anything like that. I think it's that we're very quickly going to become a Resident Evil VR machine. And I think that's kind of a bad look, despite the fact that a lot of us think that's wonderful, that we have Village, we had 7 last gen, and then we're getting Resident Evil 4. I actually thought that we wouldn't see Resident Evil 4 in VR until a full year had passed, because Village was a launch title. It's like, let's give them a year of just kind of soak that in, and for everyone to make sure that they played it, and then boom, next February, let's give them Resident Evil 4. And it seems like it's not going to be that long. It seems like it could come anywhere from, I guess it could technically be February, but it could be as early as late December. So,
well, it's weird. If we take the blog posts at their word, like all of them at their word, then there's about a 10-day window that this could drop.
Yeah.
From the 21st to the 31st of December. Right.
And I don't think any games come out in the last week of December, so I think the window gets even smaller. So with Resident Evil 8 and 4, and then of course everyone's chomping at the bit to get like a 2 remake in VR, because the mod for that on PC was pretty awesome, and that's like a fantastic game all around. And so that would be definitely one that I want. And then we want 7 ported over. Like I feel like if we're lucky, we'll get 1 a year, and they'll just kind of keep this pace up. Be like, and I don't feel like we'll get 7 and 2 in the same year. I feel like they're just gonna boom, 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 one a year. So, but yeah, I think if we knew what Sony's strategy was regarding their first party stuff, then stuff like this, that they paid for, we'd have a much better idea of what their strategy was. But we don't know what their strategy is for bringing PSVR 1 games over. There's no way that they just want to toss those out the window and say, oh, well, we spent millions making Blood and Truth and barely recouped our losses. Let's just abandon that on last gen hardware. They're definitely bringing it over, but when? No idea.
So weird, man. It's just so weird. And I don't want to derail the show and get up on the topic that we've covered every 2 or 3 shows since the thing launched.
No one's got anything better to do, Wes.
What do they even have coming for Flat? I mean, Spider-Man 2's out now. What's next? Do we have any idea what's next for them at all?
No idea.
No clue, right? It's so weird.
And I think part of that is my fault because I don't follow flat screen Sony the way that I follow VR Sony. But there's certainly no marquee title as big as Spider-Man, as big as a God of War, as big as a Horizon. That's making the rounds. I don't think we have any release dates or any idea. But
nothing, dude.
Yeah,
nothing at all. It's so weird. I've never seen this in all my time as a avid PlayStation gamer, that there was a time where we just had no idea what was next for anything. That is weird.
Yeah, Andrew Ehrenreich says Helldivers. That's it. Yeah, so I mean, like, yeah, the future's wide open, and with 20 plus first party studios working on shit like that, I think that's also really good. We saw some CGI teasers for some upcoming games the last time they did a showcase. But, we have no idea, like, what's going to support PSVR2. We don't know what's going to be only on the PlayStation 5. So I think not knowing is so much better than knowing right now, because it just means that there's so many possibilities. They haven't crushed our dreams or spirits yet, Wes. It's possible. It could be coming any day now, but I still have a little bit of hope.
Yeah, I do too. I'm hopeful. Very hopeful.
Did I not say sirens on my end? I could have sworn I said it. I apologize, by the way, guys. Like, I am like half dead right now. I've been up since 5 a.m. and it has not been a great day. So thank you all for being here and making it so much better. Let's tackle a couple more tips and then we can get on to the next viewer takeover question. We've got Lost My Mojo, the Game Cat Reaper, with a $10 tip, says the furry bush of truth. LMFAO. Yeah, furry bush truth. I flipped through the magazine a little bit. Things were certainly different in the 70s. Super cool video, bro. The $2 tip says any chance Resident Evil 4 VR will have higher resolution than 8? I mean,
yes.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's a chance. I mean, the base game, I would say probably. I haven't tried it, but I would expect it to be a little more high res. Now we are, of course, limited by the resolution of the headset itself. But technology, that's the way it works. Over time, it gets better. Things are more well optimized, and sure. So yeah, I would say there's a chance of it. I don't think it'll be like some noticeable, like, huge leap or anything, but I expect 4 to be better than 8 in pretty much almost every way. So
I'm a little nervous in that regard because it hasn't even been a year since Village came out. Now the other question is how long was Village ready for, and how long did Capcom have to work on 4? So there's not a lot of definitives here, but my guess is that if there are improvements, they'll be minimal at best, maybe not even noticeable. My feeling is that the Resident Evil 4 has a better art style all around than Village did. I just like the moodier look of it, and so that's what I'm excited to see in VR. So even if there's no fidelity upgrade, it's a world I'd much rather see. Ghost in Goblins Ace Game Cat with the $13.37. What is $13.37 a thing? I feel like everybody's quizzing me here, and I'm failing miserably.
Yeah, if it's a thing, I don't know about it.
I know what 1428 is. Do you know what 1428 is, Wes?
No.
It's the house of on Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
There we go.
Professor
I'll
Lilith.
forget that in an hour.
Yep. With a $5 tip says, "Hi, Game Cats." Hey, Professor Lilith. Our last Sunday multiplayer before Halloween is coming up, and the game will be after the fall. After the fall, all zombies, all afternoon. That's exciting.
Yeah, sounds like a good time.
I wonder if Ghostbusters VR will be the game I wanted after the fall to be. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Toes crossed. Kill Artist 1, the Dreamweaver Game Cat with a $10 tip says, heading out tomorrow night to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios Orlando. So excited. Man, I bet they really do that shit up over there, huh? It's got to be better than the Six Flags shit that I went to a few years ago.
Yeah, they have a similar thing around here at Kings Island. They do it all through the month of October, and it literally is the best time of the year to go. But it's been getting worse pretty much since the COVID times. Because used to they had people that would walk around in costumes and like really get in your face and try to scare you and your children. But now they have to like social distance and keep it's just not the same as it used to be. The vibe's still cool, but it's not as cool as it used to be for sure.
I really want to make some jokes, but people will take me too seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. J-Mind the Game Spider with the level 3 membership says, one major fear I have for RE4 is that the roundhouse kick they keep touting, if it pulls us out of 3D VR, then I don't want it. That's an interesting thought. Could it be a 2D screen showing it happening, or could it just pull back still in VR and show Leon doing a roundhouse in VR still?
Yeah, that's what the Resident Evil 4 on Quest does. It just kind of pulls back and shows Leon doing it. And it's not just the kick either. It's all the old quick time events from the original game.
Yeah.
I do not expect that here. I don't know how they're going to handle it in VR, but I've played VR games that do roundhouse kicks in first-person VR, and you just see the leg come up and kick the enemy. It's not that weird. It's not as weird as it sounds like it would be.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. I would love to stay in first person if possible. I actually think the Quest 2 version of Resident Evil 4 was really, really fucking well done. That was a great game. But I hated the beginning because it seems very, very focused at the beginning of, oh, I got to push this bookshelf, and now we're in third person. Or I got to jump out this window. Now we're in third person. It's like, come on, man, this is exciting stuff. I want to move bookshelves in first person VR. That's I can't believe there's not a moving bookshelf simulator VR game out there already. There's a fucking simulator for every other goddamn thing. Oh shit, did I delete this person's name? I think I did. Let's see. I got it. It's a good thing I copied and pasted this into our chat. Sunlight Blade 11 writes, hashtag viewer takeover. How hard is it for developers to bring crossplay into their game? Statements like, if the game release goes well, we might be able to work on full online crossplay support from the Racket Fury devs. From the Racket Fury devs on Reddit made it sound like witchcraft, even though it seems like a no-brainer in competitive multiplayer games like that. Wes, do you know anything about this? How hard it is to, with talking to developers, how difficult to crossplay really is to implement?
Not really. I don't suspect that it's all that difficult. I expect there's probably some cost, on Sony's end to have to pay for certain things like that. I mean, for the longest time, Sony wouldn't even allow it, like at all. I think it was Fortnite that kind of broke the ice with that one. And then now it's a more common thing.
Time.
But
I was gonna put this over here.
But I mean, yeah, it's weird. Some developers come out and, like you say, they make it seem like it's witchcraft to make it work. But then there are other very small studios that have it up and running on day one. So I don't think it's all that difficult. I think it's them being cautious with their financials, most likely.
Yeah, probably. I don't like the whole, hey, buy our game, we promise we'll give you something later.
Right.
If it sells well. But what the fuck does that do for the people who gave you the $30? And said, well, we wanted it at launch. And and now we have to hope that other people also spent $30. It I don't know. It feels a little bit slimy. We'll talk about the Racket Fury devs specifically here in just a second, but luckily we have Strange Game Studios. Regis in the chat says crossplay is not really that hard to do technically, but there's some paperwork you just have to submit.
That's tough, man. We'll have to see how it sells before we fill out that paperwork.
Listen, man, I hate filling out paperwork, so I'm sort of like, I'm on the developer side here. Every time I have to fill out paperwork, I'm like, it's just not worth it. Oh man. We live in a strange time where like things that should sell games are not included, and then the developers say, well, if you buy the game, we'll include it, rather than having it been the reason you bought the game in the first place. Or
in this case, if you buy the game again for a more expensive price, then we'll give you something that other games consider to be a basic feature.
Right. Which is probably a pretty good segue into our Racket Fury conversation. If anybody's been paying attention, there's been a lot of... I mean, it hasn't been fun for anybody involved, and that includes the developers, that includes gamers, it includes people who bought it, people who didn't buy it. The Racket Fury launch on PSVR2 has not gone well. Pixel Edge is... not only did they raise the price to $30 on PSVR2, but they gave us no upgrade path, and they cited the reasons that the game was free on PlayStation Plus at one point, and not being able to figure out who bought it and who didn't painted them into a corner. So I had been in touch with them, and I knew that they were doing their best to get in touch with Sony immediately after seeing the negative outcry from fans saying this is ridiculous, like a upgrade fee would have been fine, but forcing us to pay even more than we paid the first time is kind of out of hand. So here, I don't know what this is doing up here. Let's take a quick look at their Reddit post here, and we can just kind of break down our thoughts on it real quick. So over on Reddit, they say, also, why can't I get dark mode in OBS? This is like, if it's not dark mode, I don't even want to look at it. So I got to look at my own page over here. The post comes to us from Racket Fury developer / CEO. It says, PSVR 1 upgrade situation and keys contest. It says, hello, everyone. First and foremost, we're off to a good start. First and foremost, I want to express my gratitude to each and every one of you who purchased and enjoyed the game over the last week. I hope you had a fantastic time and can't wait to release a big update next year featuring new sceneries, features, and hopefully the addition of online crossplay. While I can't guarantee it at the moment, I'll do my best. Regarding the situation with upgrading from PSVR 1 to PSVR 2, I must accept full responsibility. In the past, Racket Fury on PSVR 1 was available for free to PlayStation Plus subscribers. I believed that it would be impossible to distinguish between those who bought the game and those who acquired it for free, which is why the upgrade from PSVR 1 to PSVR 2 wasn't initially enabled. Upon seeing the community's response to a lack of an upgrade option, I immediately contacted Sony the very same day, inquiring about the possibility of enabling an upgrade post-release for everyone, free and users who purchased the game on PSVR 1. Unfortunately, today I received the regrettable news that this isn't feasible after the game's release. I genuinely had hoped to bring you better news, but regrettably, there's nothing more I can do to fix it. I really care about the PSVR community, and this is why I've chosen to offer a transparent explanation of the situation. I hope you understand and remain excited about upcoming updates, and of course, the game discounts, which will ideally make it accessible to everyone. Since an upgrade is regrettably not possible, I've decided to host a small contest with 10 Racket Fury keys, 5 for the EU region and 5 for the NA region. Please, they need a PR person desperately. Wes, can you go take over for them right now? Please leave a comment in this thread, include your preferred region, and within 24 hours from now, I will contact the winners via direct message. The responses are not great, as you could probably expect. I hate laughing. I hate laughing at a developer's misfortune and bad situation, but they did this to themselves. Like, this was just bad news from beginning to end.
Well, it sucks for them. I mean, the fact that Sony co-opted their Gen 1 version of the title and made them give it away for free with no compensation. That's just poor bad fortune, isn't it? Like, man, sucks to be you.
It really does. It really does. On a positive note, if you didn't win this, we'll give you some keys. Does that make anybody feel better? Nope. It'll make like two people feel better, the ones that get the keys.
Right.
So, I mean, pretty crazy, man. Pretty crazy. I mean, Wes, if these guys came to Impact Reality and they came begging on their knees, as we like them to be, and said, Wes, how do we fix this situation? Like in the current state, like today, what did they do? What would you tell them?
Put it on sale. Put a deep discount on it, 75% off. I mean, that's really all they can do at this point. Like, I don't know what I would tell them. We might not even take them as a client. Like, we early on in the days we took whoever came, right? But now we're in the advantageous position where we don't take clients if we don't feel like we can actually help them. And I'm not sure there's a whole lot we could do for these guys. Like the money that they would pay us, they'd be better off keeping that, eating it, and putting their game on sale for a reasonable price. I mean, that would be step one. Put your game on sale for a reasonable price. Like, nobody's going to pay you $30 for it anyway at this point.
Right. Right. I mean, yeah, there's nothing stopping them. I believe, you know, I've never interacted with PlayStation and tried to put my game on discount or anything like that. So I don't know how difficult it is, but I can't imagine dropping the price to $20 and saying, "Hey, we're really, really sorry that this happened." And as you said, eat the cost. And for a week, put it down to like $5 for everybody. You know, and I know a ton of people will buy that, and a ton of people will, you know, be really happy, and that will include a bunch of people who haven't. Who never bought it on PSVR 1 or never got the free upgrade. But you've got to rectify this for the community. You've got to make it better. And then when you bring it back up to $20, you say, well, now we've given everyone the chance.
And for what it's worth, most PSVR2 gamers don't have their PSVR2 yet. Like, we're still in the early days.
Sure.
Take care of it now. And then maybe a year from now, 2 years from now, when there's millions more, then those people will be willing to, you know, shell out the $20 or $30 that the game costs at that time. Yeah, it's a handful of not so great options, but I mean, the reality is what it is, man. We just got to deal with it.
Wes, you ready to give away a European key for Racket Fury?
Sure.
All right, here it goes in the chat.
We're going to give that. We're going to give that magazine away with it as well.
No way, man. No way. If you get that key, let me know that you got it.
That lady looked a little kind of European. Just saying.
I was thinking Brazilian.
Oh, even better.
Right.
In my opinion.
To each his own, Wes. To each his own.
Indeed.
Let's get back here into the tips. J-Mon, the game Spider with the level 3 membership says, one major fear I have for RE4 is that the roundhouse kick they keep... Oh, shit, I already read that. J-Mon, what's up? Fifth, with the Australian $5, says, why aren't developers making more VR2 driving games? Was there a lot on VR1? The answer is no, there was not. There was Drive Club, there was Dirt Rally, and there was part of Gran Turismo Sport. Those were the big ones. And then there were like some really tiny ones like Touring Karts was the kart racer that Ivanovich Games put out. There was VR Karts early on, which was super slow because they were scared of making people sick. What am I missing here?
Drive Club, GT Sport, Dirt Rally. Yeah, that's what I'm getting right now.
There was Mini Motor Racing X, which eventually added a first-person mode for all of us.
True that.
Insane X, which was...
It's a pretty good one, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it way more in first-person than I did in third-person. That's for sure. So yeah, there weren't a lot. And so, you know, getting Gran Turismo 7 right off the bat, you know, full VR compatibility was amazing, because we were like, damn, like we barely got anything last gen, so getting this is great. And then now we've got Galaxy Carts, and Galaxy Cart wheel support apparently is coming really soon. Not with force feedback, but that will come in a further future patch. So, dude, you got to head to the Galaxy Carts, guys. VR, they're killing it over there. VR Monkey, listening to everything we asked them to do.
Trackmania Turbo.
Oh, right. That's right. Was that in the chat, or did you remember that yourself?
No, that was Ian Stanbridge. Can't take
right
credit for that.
J-Mind in the chat with the $5 tip says nothing, and then with another $5 tip, he says, I feel like I need to refund one of these. He says, I don't believe that it's impossible to create an upgrade path after launch. Is there anyone in the chat with industry knowledge that can confirm? Yeah, I think most people thought about this ahead of time and wouldn't have put themselves in this situation. Yeah, it's a real shame. Okay, dude, that brings us to kind of the main topic of the day. Sorry, I keep clearing my throat and I don't know where the mute button is. And that is a new game got announced for PlayStation VR2. This is something you were already familiar with, Wes, right? Because it had already been announced for other VR platforms. And that is... somebody check the thumbnail in the name of this video. What's it called? Rampage what?
Is it Agent? Rampage Agent?
Rampage Agent. Here, let me bring up the trailer, and then we can talk about this and see what we think. What are your what are your thoughts on this right now, based on what this trailer says, based on what we know about it?
Well, first of all, I'm going to preface this by saying this isn't my type of game. This isn't the type of thing that I typically get excited for.
Fair.
Talking about casual competitive multiplayer. Mm-hmm. It doesn't help that it looks like a Quest 2 game. To be honest, it looks like a Horizon World game. Did you see the Super Rumble or whatever that came out a month or two ago that is made in Horizon Worlds? That's what this looks like, visually. Okay. Now I'm not saying it's impossible that this game could be fun. It could be fun. But I'm not excited for it at all. Like, this is not why I come to VR. Like, if all the games in VR were this, I would be a flat gamer. And that's just the truth.
Listen, I totally respect that viewpoint, but I also think that I'm a big fan of gaming variety. I'm a fan of checking out different genres, especially ones that I wasn't really terribly interested on the flat screen. This is talking about battle royale modes being a big part of it. And I actually really like battle royales, and I embarrassingly never got into Pop 1, which is crazy because I had a Quest 2.
Pop 1's good.
And I like battle royales. Like I missed the boat on that one, and I'm really upset about it. But you guys know that I'm not embarrassed of the countless hours I spent in Fortnite. I absolutely love Fortnite. And so anything that could even get me that close in VR to something like Fortnite, I'm down with. The more I read about this, though, and the more I talk to people who are familiar with these genres, they say this is a lot like Apex Legends. Now, we haven't had like really any of these games on PSVR2. I think a bunch of studios tried to make it happen on PSVR 1 and Quest and other platforms, but no one's been terribly successful. I mean, here's...
and again, I want to reiterate here, because I really am not trying to be negative about this. This just isn't my thing, right? This is just not the type of game that I like to play. People who are into these like 3v3, 4v4, fast-paced, arcadey versus multiplayer, I mean, they might really dig this. It's just not my thing,
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it all depends on how the actual final gameplay feels for me personally, because, I don't know. When I saw Larcenauts get announced over on Quest from, come on, help me out.
Impulse Gear,
the fucking Farpoint developers. Like, obviously, I think a big part of my disappointment on that was like, oh, you guys made a hero shooter? like after making this great single player sci-fi, amazingly told by Rob Biescombe adventure, first person shooter, like I mean, it was a major step down as far as like what I'm looking for in VR. And in Larcenauts, just when I saw that, it really didn't interest me. And I don't know how much of that was like, oh, I just don't want to play something like Larcenauts, or how much of it was come on, guys, like Impulse Gear, you're so much better than this. This seems like a quick cash grab while you're in between big projects. And I don't know if that ended up being the case or not. I don't think it was. I think that was their next big project. So having a game like this that, you know, is featuring crossplay, these guys are talking about, dude, have you seen the Steam store listing for this?
Vaguely, because it was there was a demo for this, I think, on the Steam Next Fest a few weeks back. So that's my only knowledge of this game, is I saw it on that list of about 20 or so games that had demos up. I was like, there's another one of those, and I just, you know, kept scrolling.
I just threw another Racket Fury key for the US this time in the chat, so let me know if you get that. Yeah, let's go over to the Steam page real quick here, because they've announced a lot of it was surprising to me. It's going into Steam early access starting tomorrow. I had to go through pages of YouTube trailers and Steam listings, and finally getting to their Discord to find out that it's coming out at least on Steam early access tomorrow. I don't know if it's actually coming out on Quest tomorrow. It's definitely not coming out on PSVR2 tomorrow. And that was weird, because their announcement was like listing all these platforms in the trailer, and then suddenly saying, oh, October 26th. And we're like, really? They're like, oh, not you guys. Oh, well, thanks anyway. So very confusing, but I'm glad I got to the bottom of it before this show started, or the headline would have been like, is this game coming out tomorrow? And the answer would have been no. So, but yeah, let's check out this Steam page listing, because they are talking about all sorts of shit that I would not have expected for a game like this, including like, what the fuck was it? Like 80 maps or something like that. Like I've never heard of something.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah. So if you, obviously this is really, really small print here. Let me see if I can bring it up on my screen for a little bit of better view. All right. So they're saying
it must be arenas. Has to be arenas. If they're doing 80 of them, this has to be an arena shooter. Has to be.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like they've got both modes. The fact that they're calling it Battle Royale, and I don't even know what the other one's called, if it's just called Arena Shooter. There's got to be a better name for it, but my brain's not working. So they're saying the complete version, we plan to contain the following elements. A fun adventure modes, around 3 main chapters and 5 bosses. They said around 80 maps, around 49 monsters, around 45 weapons, around 150 items. Yeah. Wow. This is what really got me, because I was just surprised that a game that kind of came out of nowhere is trying to say, hey, we're going to be bigger and better than any other game like this that ever came before.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Brian,
Please
but
do.
I take it all back. Take it all back. Everything that I said, because I did not read anything about this game. I watched the trailer. Mm-hmm. I said, I judged from the trailer that, okay, this is that type of game. And the very first sentence you just read to me tells me that it's not just that type of game. So if they've got an adventure mode with levels and bosses and like 50 different monsters, this is exactly what I want.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't show any of that in their trailer, but that's what I want from a game. And if that's true, then I completely misjudged this game, and I was wrong.
Yep. And I don't think any of that's going to be there at launch. Like, this is what they were talking about. Like, in the future, this is what we want to add to the game. And so I think it's going to be the game you don't want tomorrow. Yeah. And it probably will take a year for it to start becoming the game that we're both interested in. It says each agent will have an ultimate skill and tactical skill. Around 3 new agents with different abilities update per year. About 2 new Battle Royale maps with different themes updated per year. Melee combat will be added. Weapons, items, training grounds, yearly Battle Royale tournaments. Like, just, I mean, I think we just have to say these guys, if nothing else, are shooting for the stars and saying, hey, we want this to be a massive success. And if it is, here's what we're planning. And this could all very well be 5 years away. Who knows how long this could be in early access for.
Right. Yeah, it could be what we were talking about earlier, like buy our game now and we'll give you this later.
Right.
Type of thing. Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. Even with the basics, it looks kind of fun. And I'll be keeping a close eye on the Steam reviews, Steam Early Access reviews, and the Quest reviews, seeing if it's a game that's really for me or not. But then, obviously keeping an eye on it as they update it and seeing what else they managed to get in here, how long it all takes, dude. I feel like I'm being a little pessimistic right now when I read this and go, oh, it's going to take fucking 5 years for them to do this. But I remember when Zenith was first announced, the MMO Zenith. And I remember telling AJ, I was like, these were the last guys out of the gate. These are the last guys to announce their game. Like this game is years away, right? They have some really nice concept art, but that's all they have. And then like 8 months later, it was out and it was pretty damn fucking good. And so, I've underestimated developers before. I underestimated Mighty Eyes, the people who make Wanderer, totally underestimated them. And so that it's those nice little surprises from those studios who are super talented that keep my faith alive for something like this. So
yeah, you never know. You never know who's got money, because there was a period there of a couple of years where there was a lot of investment in VR and VR studios, and you would read another story every other day about some $5 million deal that some unheard of studio made. We recently had a studio come, like a no-name studio that nobody's ever heard of, come to Impact with a proof of concept, and it was like, all right, so this is like super early. This isn't even alpha. Check it out. Let's see if we think that we've got something here. And part of the conversation is that they want to launch in 3 or 4 months. And I'm like, how many times have we heard that? That's never going to happen. And then I heard, oh yeah, where they have a team of 100 developers and they've got a budget of like some crazy number I'm not even going to say. And I was like, well, I guess maybe with that, they could be ready in 3 or 4 months. So you never know. You never know who has the resources to make it a reality. And that's really all it is. You need time, and money is time. And if a group has money, then they can afford to bring people in and get stuff done in a ridiculously quick fashion. So maybe that's the case here. Maybe there's 100 dudes waiting for early access money to start rolling in.
Maybe it is. Hey, listen, I forgot to give you the heads up that it's your turn to host 20 questions. So between now and
it is. Oh,
yeah.
I did the last one, I thought. But
oh, okay. Wait a minute. Yeah, well, I think
the last one, but it was on Friday.
There you go. We're getting back on schedule. That's what happened. Yep.
Okay. All right. I'll be ready when the time comes.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Because we're not too far away from it. I just want to make sure we get all caught up here. Okay, good. We're caught up on tips. That's wonderful. Oh wait, how'd that happen? Somehow I missed Feel the Magic. Hear the roar. The Thunder Game Cats are loose. With the Australian $2 tip says Thunder Game Cats. He wrote do. I thought it was ho, but I mean, I guess we'll go with do. That's fine. Going with number 2. Somehow I missed that. I don't know what happened. Did I miss anything else? Wes, while you're looking for a game, what are your?
I got one.
Wow,
I got it.
That was long. Obviously, we've got Journey to Foundation coming out tomorrow. We've got Ghostbusters VR coming out tomorrow. Do you have any expectations for these games? Are you hopeful? I know there's been a lot of talk on our Discord, on GAMESCAST specifically. I was very sorry, sirens on my end. I was very negative Monday about how the way that Sony Pictures VR is handling the release of Ghostbusters VR. I think that was a lot of me just blowing off steam and having to vent and saying, like, I think they could have done this better. But I'm still relatively positive and hopeful that the game's going to be fun. Where do you stand on this?
Well, on Ghostbusters specifically, just judging by the look of the game and what we know about it, I don't expect it to be like a Game of the Year contender like 9 out of 10 game.
Mm-hmm.
I do expect it to be good though, and the reason why I expect it to be good, not only is it a great franchise, like I love Ghostbusters, I think a lot of people do, but it's a great studio, right? This is an In Dreams game, and they haven't dropped the ball yet. They've given us, games that are criticizable, but typically it's because of the scope of the game, right? They give us small amounts of greatness is what In Dreams brings us. And I don't know if that's going to be the case here or not. But again, I just went on a 5-minute thing a minute ago about how casual multiplayer games aren't my thing. I do like co-op, and I do like that there is apparently some sort of, there's some sort of campaign here that's going to drive us. These are all big pluses for me. I'm a bit afraid, like you said, that this could be like ultimately be like after the fall type thing. After we get through the campaign, it's going to be one of those things that we just come back and rerun levels to upgrade equipment, and I'm not sure how much legs it's going to have after we finish the campaign, but I'm very hopeful that the first run or two of this with friends is going to be very fun. So I think I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be good. Good, not great, but I think it's going to be very good.
And I know Journey to Foundation is probably even a tougher one to judge because we haven't seen an Archaeact game in a while, and this seems to be a bigger scope for them. But are you confident about that one?
I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful. I'm a fan of Archaeact, and I have been since I've been in VR. They dropped them all a little bit with their Doom 3 port. I mean, they could have done better with that. Yeah. But anything that's come from them, from like first party, their title has been exceptionally high quality. Even Evasion, which a lot of people didn't like it because it was super arcadey. I really liked Evasion. I thought it was great. It was one of a very few games at that time that would let us have a co-op campaign with our friends. So I liked it. I really liked Freediver. I thought it was super high quality, very short, an hour and a half to play through it. But what was there was really good, and I liked how it was. I liked how it was narrative focused, right? They took us on a little piece of an adventure, and you could tell from some of the things their studio was saying at the time that was the direction they wanted to go in with their next title. So I've always been hopeful that whatever they came with next was going to put it all together. It's going to give us that narrative stuff that we liked from Freediver. It's going to give us the action that we liked from Evasion, and that their next one would be kind of their magnum opus that gave us the best of both worlds. So that I feel like is the potential for this title. Now, will they achieve that? I don't know. Like you said, it's been a while, so I don't even know if the same core team members are even still there that were there 4 years ago or whatever. But I am hopeful. I'm a fan of the studio. I do expect it to be high quality, even if it isn't a game that everyone loves.
Yeah. Scott, the PSVR Game Cat for Life, said basically Brian was throwing his toys out of the pram and said it's not fair. There was something like that going on. I mean, we've got a couple tips here, and then we're gonna get on with it. Blazing Phoenix 82 with the $5 tip says, for Zenith players, if you log in today until Halloween, you get a player title that has color added. Okay.
Wow.
I haven't dropped into Zenith in so long. It's probably time. Fifth with the Australian $5 tip says, out of Brian, Miles, AJ, and Wes, who is the best at shooters, puzzle games, and driving games? I will remove myself from this list for all genres of games because if anybody's ever watched me play a game, I'm not terribly good at games. Like, there's no pro gamer mentality in me where I'm like, I need to win, blah blah. No, I just like fucking love video games, man. And I'm okay at games all around. I've been playing all my life, but I've never excelled at any particular genre or at games at all. What do you think, Wes? Do we have a top tier player here for any specific genre?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know how good you or Miles are at any of this stuff. I'm like you. I'm not like particularly great at anything. Um, I'm pretty good at puzzle games, I feel like. I mean, if I had to pick one for myself, that would probably be the one. I'll also say this, that just saying shooter, that's a little too vague. Like, I'm pretty good at like arcade shooters and leaderboard chasers, that sort of thing. But if you put me in like a head-to-head, like if you put me in Alvo or something like Pavlov, I'm gonna die a lot. I'm not good at that type of shooter, not that great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm okay at some games, and other games I completely suck at. So I don't know.
I think, I mean, I think arcade racing games are something that I've always sort of excelled at. If there's an arcade racer that that has my name written all over it, where I'm like, oh yes, like the launch of the PlayStation 2, when it was like, oh, I need the newest Ridge Racer game. I was always there for the launch of every new Ridge Racer game. I loved Rage Racer, R4, Ridge Racer 5. Series kind of fell off a cliff after that, to be honest. But like, Burnout, the Burnout games, Burnout Paradise, even like if it's an arcade racing game and it hooks me, I'm gonna get good at that game. But yeah, I don't know. I guess puzzle games I'm all right at. Depends, but depends what kind. I used to be real good at point and click adventures, and I have no patience for that anymore. Like,
I excel at walking simulators, Brian.
nice. I'm the best gone home player there is. Because I cried at the end, and I think that's what you're supposed to do. All right, man. Let's get the ball rolling. Oh, by the way, Awesome Tatum says, is Journey to Foundation really going to be that price? Yep, we got confirmation today that's going to be $40. And if the developers are accurate and with an 8-hour game.
Yeah, let's hope it's a $40 game, right? That's what we want. We want $40 games.
Right. We want it to feel like a $40 game. So let's hope that's the case.
Right.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna make a little chart here that says yes and no, and you guys are gonna really have to help me out. We're gonna blast through a game of 20 questions, and we're gonna lose.
Maybe not.
We'll see. All right, guys, help me out. Suggest good questions and then suggest good games based on Wes's answers. On your mark, get Des, go. Nope, go. There it is. Is this game on PSVR 1?
Yes.
Okay, guys, you heard it. It's on PSVR 1. I bet it's not on PSVR 2. I'm not going to ask that question yet because I don't want to waste a question. Did this game have aim support?
No.
Damn it. I've now forgotten every other game that was on PSVR 1 that didn't have aim support. Did we mention either the studio that made this game or the game itself on today's show?
I'm fairly sure that we did not.
Okay. Trying to knock out as many possibilities at once here. Is this a puzzle game?
No, it's not a puzzle game.
Okay. Do you do a lot of shooting of any kind of projectiles, whether that be guns, arrows, magic, etc.? Is that kind of like the combat type game? Any of those?
Yeah, there's definitely a fair amount of that going on.
All right. Is it guns?
No.
Oh shit. Well, actually, that's good because there's a lot. Is it arrows? Bows and arrows?
We'll say yeah.
All right. All right, you guys. We got bow and arrow. He's saying bow and arrow on PSVR 1 game. We didn't talk about on today's show. It's not a puzzle game. Shit. Was this has this developer made other PSVR games other than the one we're talking about?
Yes.
Ooh, that narrows it down even further, you guys. This isn't made by Fast Travel Games, is it?
No.
Okay, so there goes Apex. Good one, Distracted. Is it a roguelite?
No, that's 10.
There goes In Death, you guys. Oh, wait a minute. Shadow Legend had... Looper says it at the same time. Shadow Legend had bows and arrows, even though that wasn't your only weapon. I mean, let's just knock it out. Was this game made by Vitruvius?
No.
Okay. Damn. Now I really wish I'd asked if it came to PSVR2, because I don't think it would have. Oh, good one, Red Sea. Was this made by Servios?
No.
Not a good one, Red Sea. Not a good one. The Persistence have bows and arrows, Roy Schwartz? I don't remember that being a thing. It can't be Witching Tower, Looper. That game was like all puzzles. That was like a puzzle game disguised as like a first-person magic game. Okay. Is it? Would you consider this a first-person adventure?
Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
All right, so that kind of eliminates things like tower defense games, guys. That eliminates, things that are just compilations of mini games like carnival games, as Indie Soul was going for. I don't think it could be Gorn Braxborough, because I don't think that studio made other PSVR games. I don't think so. That's a good question, Mad Vegan. Would this have fallen on a top 25 list, or would it have been contender at any point?
Yeah, I'd say in its day it would have been debatable for sure.
Debatable.
Like it's a good game. It's a good game.
Can't be Song in the Smoke, Looper, because that's the only PSVR game 17-bit ever made. Was this open world?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think that'd be a fair statement. That's 15, by the way.
Okay.
I would say it's an open world game. Yes.
You would say it's an open world game.
Yeah, I would define it that way.
He's AJing the fuck out of this, isn't he?
I'm just saying. I don't want any like blowback if somebody says, "Well, technically, da 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 da." I'm like, it seems pretty open world to me.
Was this game was this title ever playable on the flat screen in any way, shape, or form?
No, I don't think so.
All right, guys, there goes Skyrim. Sorry. The Archer's Tale is definitely not open world. God damn. We got 15 seconds. Man. I got nothing left, you guys. That's crazy. All right, well, I'm just going to throw this out there because Silver Nexus said it. Is it Ionia?
I'm sorry. What? Your mic cut out.
Is it Ionia? It's not Ionia.
No, it's definitely not Ionia. But I thought you had me because Silver Nexus did say it. Silver Nexus nailed me right out of the fucking gate at the very beginning. And just for your a reminder, I believe it was Silver Nexus that blasted me on Friday as well, and had you pull it out at the very end. Windlands 2, Brian.
Oh, man.
The game was Windlands 2.
Yep, I saw some people in the chat say it after you'd after the time ran out, after you started saying this, talking about Silver Nexus, and I cannot believe I forgot about Windlands 2.
Like 3 questions in, man. He had it. As soon as you said archery, it was like Windlands 2, and I was like, oh, there we go,
dude. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I feel like I know less about PSVR games than anybody on the face of the planet, and I reviewed a good majority of them. So.
That's why you overloaded yourself, man. If you'd only just stuck with the good ones, this would be an easy game for you.
Yeah, right. All of the games just blurred together because I was just going from one to another to another to another. But holy crap, man, that's great. That was fun. I definitely should have gotten that. But thanks to everybody in the chat, and sorry, Silver Nexus, for not seeing your initial. He said,
and by the way,
he calls it a lucky guess.
Technically, no bow and arrow in this. That's not a bow and arrow. I said yes because I knew I probably should, but you're shooting like these weird energy things from your like make believe bow thing. But
right. Listen, you're on our side. If you said no, then I would have called you on it. That would have been ridiculous. Yep.
Yeah.
By the way, a small game cat in the chat said, "What happened to the port of Dash Dash World?" That's
a good question.
Motion X Studios. I mean, obviously they've got the best kart racing game in VR, and they were in touch with me constantly regarding the PSVR1 port, and then eventually the PSVR2 port. And then these guys just fell off the face of the planet. I can only imagine it just didn't sell well enough on Quest to keep them going. My guess is that they've shut down. If anyone knows better, if anyone knows what's happened to them or has been in contact with them, please let me know and tell them that I'm worried about them. Tell them to call home because Daddy needs to talk to them. That was a fucking weird thing to say. But you know what? Yeah. Welcome to GamesCast Live. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Wes, thank you for hanging out with me. Everyone, make sure you go and subscribe to Wes's channel with all of his VR friends over there. The mysterious Ruuts and the not so mysterious Eric. We're going to find out more about those guys soon enough. I know it. Hopefully it's not on the news. But thank you to everybody who helps the channel run, including all my amazing moderators. You know who you are, and I love you dearly. Also, Rypop, who gets us up on podcast services of your choice. Sci-Fi Game Cat Henry, who puts timestamps into the show after the fact. Everyone who supports us financially by being a Patreon member at patreon.com/withoutparolegames. Everyone who's a member over here. Everyone who tips during the show. You don't know how much pizza that keeps on my table. And without a kitchen, I've been ordering a lot of pizza, so thank you. You're keeping me alive. Everyone who hangs out during the show, everyone who helps during 20 questions, everyone who shoots the shit and keeps us entertained while we try to keep you entertained. And of course, everyone who sits back, watches the show, and doesn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there, and we love you just as much. Happy Wednesday, Wes.
Happy Wednesday, Brian. Happy Wednesday, cats. See you all very soon.
Let's go. But that didn't work. Let's go. Jesus, I didn't see these last couple tips. Feel the magic, hear the roar. Thunder Game Cats are loose with the Australian $2 tip says, I'm great at shooting magic. Just ask my girlfriend. Blazing Phoenix 82 gifted 10 without parole memberships. How fucking generous, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Burning Passions issue number 2, Wes.
Number 2. Yep. I wonder how many were in the series.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Maybe it's still going on.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I guess I'm surprised. I did flip through it when they first handed it to me, and I was like surprised how graphic it would be. Like for the 70s, I thought shit was tamer back then. But this must have been some off-brand, like, you know, really hush hush kind of shit, because like it is super graphic. And there's not a lot of articles in it. I'll tell you that. It's a lot of
I was
pictures.
about to say, are there any ads in it? Like this is probably something that was just bought from a dude, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like every single picture, I'm flipping through it now if you can't hear the pages turning. Every single page is a big fucking full color photograph. Like you didn't get full color everything in the 70s, did you? And it's just, yeah, there's like this 5 words per page, and every single page is just a full color photograph. Like some of them like take up the whole page. It's crazy.
It's amazing.
Wow. Very cool.
They don't make them like they used to, Brian.
They sure don't, Wes. They sure don't. And for that, we thank you. Good night, everybody.
Good night.